Well, the U.S. Justice Department has announced a stinging indictment of the Chinese government, two of its citizens. It's charging two Chinese nationals with carrying out an extensive hacking campaign affecting companies around the world, including Canada. It says the two were part of a hacking group directly linked to the Chinese Ministry of State Security. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Rob Rosenstein explained the seriousness of the allegations.
Today's charges mark an important step in revealing to the world China's continued practice of stealing commercial data. Responding to that conduct requires a strategic, whole-of-government approach to the threats that China poses. That is why the Department of Justice recently announced an initiative to address a full range of threats. Mr. Demers and Director Wray have been leaders of that effort. One tactic is to increase our enforcement efforts. Another is to conduct foreign investment reviews to protect against China improperly acquiring sensitive information through the acquisition of American companies. A third is to find ways to better protect our telecommunications infrastructure. China stands accused of engaging in criminal activity that victimizes individuals and companies in the United States, violates our laws, and departs from international norms of responsible state behavior. Exposing these actions through the criminal justice system is a valuable tool in the Department of Justice arsenal. Faced with the detailed factual allegations today and the corroborating statements not just from the United States, but from other victimized nations, China will find it difficult to pretend that it is not responsible for these actions. America and its many allies know what China is doing. We know why they're doing it. And in some cases, we even know exactly who is sitting at the keyboard perpetrating these crimes in association with the Chinese government. The alleged criminals in this case are named Zhu Hua and Zhang Shulong. We hope the day will come when those defendants face justice under the rule of law in an American courtroom.
The defendants gained a foothold to more easily compromise the computer networks of the MSP's numerous clients across the globe. As the Deputy Attorney General noted, the defendants compromised the data of MSP clients located in 12 countries: Brazil, Canada, France, Finland, Germany, India, Japan, Sweden, Switzerland, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
So there it is, the mention of Canada there. One reason why we're watching the story so closely. The CBC's Lindsay Duncombe watching it closely as well in Washington. Joining us now live. Not the first time the U.S. has laid charges against China. So what's the latest on this one, Lindsay?
Well, this does relate to the long-standing concern from the U.S. and other countries about the kind of economic espionage and intellectual property theft that China has long been accused of doing. In this specific case, we're talking about two people being charged. They remain at large, likely in China, and they will not necessarily ever face a court in the United States for that reason. What they're accused of doing is using malware to go into these companies, stealing usernames and passwords, and it is a vast array of businesses and government agencies that were targeted here. Here's more of the scope of these businesses.
These defendants allegedly compromised MSP clients in at least a dozen countries, the United States and 11 other countries. The victims included companies in banking and finance, telecommunications and consumer electronics, medical equipment, packaging, manufacturing, consulting, healthcare, biotechnology, automotive, oil and gas exploration, and mining. The defendants allegedly committed these crimes in association with a Chinese intelligence agency known as the Ministry of State Security.
Well, it's pretty clear, at least as far as those allegations go, Lindsay. So let's talk about how this may fit into the much larger picture.
Well, remember that the United States and China are in the middle of a truce in their trade war. And one of the big issues between these two economies, the world's two largest economies, is the way in which China does business, specifically stealing secrets from American companies and then using that to their advantage. The goal of this, as was laid out by the Deputy Attorney General, is to expose these actions as part of a valuable tool. And that was also the message from the FBI. Here's Director Christopher Wray.
No country poses a broader, more severe, long-term threat to our nation's economy and cyber infrastructure than China. China's goal, simply put, is to replace the U.S. as the world's leading superpower, and they're using illegal methods to get there. They're using an expanding set of non-traditional and illegal methods.
And there is also a message here for other countries, including Canada, because if you look at some specific companies, Huawei, of course, is the technology giant based in China, and it is selling its 5G telecommunications network to countries around the world. The United States has warned those countries, including Canada, listen, we're worried that this gear could be used to be spied upon. So these indictments today are sort of part of that larger push to really show the Chinese business practices in the context of that global trade war.
Thanks for this, Lindsay. The CBC's Lindsay Duncombe in Washington.